Well, as we've reported this week, Chicago is still moving full steam ahead towards Governor Pritzker's so-called bridge phase, which means that after a year of isolation, anxiety, and depression, we are finally going to get back to normal.
At long last, we're putting COVID in the rearview mirror, although not all of us. Many people suffering the lingering impacts of the pandemic, and they may have a tough time adjusting. So joining us with more is Alexa James. She's the CEO at NAMI Chicago, which works tirelessly to prioritize mental health. Good to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right, so there's a lot of good news out there this week. The positivity rate's down. We're talking, as Anita just said, about reopening this summer, and that means some big life changes for a lot of folks. They're going to go back to work. They're going to go out to dinner again. They're going to go to concerts. I would imagine that's going to pose some mental challenges, will it not?
Always, right? I mean, everything that we do and every transition can elicit feelings of anxiety or hopelessness or fear. What we need to do is make sure that people feel supported enough, that they're reaching out to community, and that they're expressing the fact that maybe I'm a little bit nervous to go back to the office. And these are my expectations of my employer, right? And I think that instead of pushing away those feelings, we just kind of lean into it because we're all feeling that way. And I know a lot of us who have rejoined community, who have gone to restaurants, who have been out in the community more, have realized okay, this feels good and I feel confident and I can keep doing it, right? It's this Band-Aid, you got to rip it off kind of. And a lot of people are experiencing that nervousness about what it feels like to go back to a place that they haven't been in a long time.
Yeah, you talk to us about the benefits of, maybe right now thinking about making plans to take a trip or get together with friends and families that, we haven't seen for a very long time. In some cases, more than a year, but that year definitely has hurt a lot of us.
Right. We've put our physical health as a priority, and thus our mental health has been put on the back burner. I think that this is such an opportunity for connection that people have missed so much. I mean, Zoom and phone calls and texts just aren't the same without being with people that we love, particularly those who have experienced grief during this time. They haven't been able to mourn with their families in the way that historically we've been able to. So I think it's really important to set plans, making things to look forward to that we can actually do. I think the hopelessness around COVID in the beginning, certainly a year ago, is we didn't know when this was going to end. And I think that we're starting to see that silver lining of we can safely reconnect with folks. And we know that connection is where our healing begins. And so pushing people to do that more in a place that feels safe and comfortable for them, I think it's going to be a really good goal for people to set.
We got less than a minute left, and you mentioned going back to work. So take us inside somebody's house. The phone rings. It's the boss. You're going back to the office this summer. Are there things people can do if already they're starting to feel that anxiety just with the phone call?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, you have to put on pants again, right? There's so many things that are good, right?
Pants that don't fit.
Yeah, right. Actually, we created a toolkit at NAMI Chicago around kind of going back to work and what this feels like. We think that there's a lot of onus on the employer to make sure that the transitions make sense. Obviously, there's safety protocol, but also that, for a long time, we've talked about the physical safety of an organization and are there enough cleaning supplies and PPE, et cetera. Well, now, are we taking care of people's emotional health too? And that needs to be just as much of a priority. The workplace can be such a place of healing. And we have the tools at NAMI Chicago and the consultation that we're doing right now to help people get to a place that makes them feel really good about going back to work. And, where innovation can happen again, right? Where people can see each other in the halls and come up with good ideas and mentor each other. So we're excited about that opportunity, but we really put the weight on the employer to make sure that the emotional wellness of people is prioritized.
All right. Alexa James from NAMI, great advice this morning. Keep it positive. Thanks so much. Appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Take good care. Thank you.
All right.